Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. A TikTok user says, and we're talking about this guy. Take a look at that. He says a visit to a thrift store has led to a very drastic change in his appearance, even though some on social media are questioning the whole story. My next guest has details about the illness. The position that this guy's left in is very real. So let's talk with Dr. Ali. And joining us on The Factor Uncensored, we have with us Dr. Danish Ali from Archpoint Pain Institute. Dr. Ali, you know we love thrift store sales here at The Factor. Trying to figure out if I got this from a thrift store. But now there's a gentleman who says he bought some products, some clothes from the thrift store, and he has a skin illness, a disease, a rash. What are we calling this exactly? What happened to this guy?
Yeah, Isaiah, this is actually very common. We see over 6 million cases of this here in the United States annually. We see it often in kids, but this gentleman is an adolescent and an adult. And what we see is this condition called molosum contagiosum. It's a condition where you get a viral illness from skin-to-skin contact with an infected, either an individual or in this case, clothing, i.e. clothing that was infected days ago with this and it did not get washed. And since it did not get washed, that person put it on and now has this viral illness.
Now, when we talk about this illness, and you said it's more common in children, or we see it a lot in kids, is this anything close to ringworm, anything like that?
It's different in the sense of the virus itself. One is a fungal virus and one is an actual virus that often presents self-limiting, meaning that it does not cause other symptoms. So you generally don't see a fever, chills, or stomach issues, etc. with this. It's usually a localized rash that you get, and it looks like a very small donut, and it has a little center ring around it, and it's very classically seen in the kids population, and that's where it's spread very commonly as well. It's often self-limiting, Isaiah, so there's not really a treatment per se that gets rid of it. However, if it becomes itchy or becomes problemsome, there are creams, topical creams that your dermatologist or primary doctor may recommend to you. But oftentimes this is just a self-limiting illness that ends up going away after a few months, and it can normally just end up staying in that spot wherever it is that's infected. And usually we see it in armpits, the groin area, and then chest as well.
Now, when we talk about buying other people's clothes, particularly used clothes from, say, a thrift store or from a garage sale, I would think action number one would be to wash those clothes. But some people, I guess, don't do that, right?
Isaiah, that's number one, but more importantly, some people may be doing it, but they may not be washing it at the correct temperature. If you wash these clothes, Isaiah, at a cold temperature, it will not be effective in removing, in most cases, this viral condition. Therefore, most folks say you have to heat this to 60 degrees Celsius, so turn it very hot in order for some of those viruses to die and get off the skin or whatever contact clothing you may have.
So it would be the basic hot temperature, the hot setting. Correct. On a washing machine that Correct. Many of us typically use, but not anything hotter than that, right?
That's correct, Isaiah. Just the hottest condition possible there on that is what's recommended. If you don't have something, or if you perhaps don't have heated water, then you want to take it somewhere where they can heat. You can have a washer that has hot water and run it under that. They also say to separate your secondhand clothes from your clothes that you've been wearing and wash them separately to get rid of this if it does exist on these clothing. And it could be bedding, it could be towels, anything that can touch the skin may carry that. And that's why we, again, see it in the kids population, because kids are always playing around with each other, spreading toys and that sort of stuff.
And of course, when we take a look at the sores on this guy's face and body, so you would just have to deal with that besides the creams and the topicals. You would just have to deal with that for the months that you go through it.
That's correct, Isaiah. It's often 6 to 18 months that we see this.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is, Isaiah. And a lot of times it does get better, and some of them go away. I think this gentleman had a big case of it, and but we do often see them. Some of them do get reduced over time. And then the most important thing also, Isaiah, that we should mention is do not pop those. Do not go to that and try to pop that, because that can spread to other parts of your body, and cause even more of a rash, or worse, you can spread it to other people. So be very mindful of that as well. And especially if you do have this, yeah, Isaiah, don't sleep in the same bed or bedding, don't share towels. Those things that have skin to skin contact, you want to be very careful of. And more importantly, you want to make sure that this is a KRIV diagnosis. So make sure you get this checked out by your physician or pediatrician.